Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Black Academia Podcast. We got episode 2. You know who I got with me today. Let's go.
You know that part, the hood poet. Assalamu alaikum, bro.
Walaikum salam. What we got going today, bro?
Today, man, I wanted to talk to you about really something extremely important, especially to us as Muslims, and especially with Ramadan coming up. I wanted to talk about deceptions. You know, there's a famous book written by Ibn al-Jawzi, Deceptions of Shaitan. And I'm not going to reference the book full on because I haven't read it all the way through, but anybody who's really interested in learning about, you know, the deen and how to better yourself, it's a must-have book, for real. But the specific deception that I wanted to talk about today and give some examples of, you know, just cover the grounds on, is distractions. You see what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of times today, especially in today's day, we don't realize how impacted we are by the distractions that are around us. And we don't really even understand how things that we tend to are distractions. You see what I'm saying? We look at them like, oh, this is just what I'm doing, or we just use our time so frivolously.
No, yeah.
But it's important that we pay attention and be mindful of that because, you know, time is the most precious commodity that you have.
Facts.
And if somebody came to you and offered you, you know, 20 million, let's use a huge example today, you gonna take it if it was just a gift. You know, if I just came to you and said, here go 20 million. But if I told you, here go 20 million, but you gotta die tomorrow, you're not taking that 20 million. I don't care who you are. And that's because it's not as precious as your time is. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So we need to be mindful of how we're using our time, especially with Ramadan coming up, bro.
You ain't even got enough time to get rid of that 20 mil in a day.
Yeah, nah, it's impossible. It wouldn't even matter. Yeah, you wouldn't even look at it like it mattered.
You wouldn't even look at it like it mattered.
But some of the deceptions that are used through distraction, you know, are things that we use day to day. Like your phone is a great example. You know what I'm saying? How much distraction do you know what I mean? How distracted are you by your phone? And even if you look at your screen time, a lot of people don't even like to pay that no mind. You know what I mean? They want to act like that part of the phone don't exist.
All right, let me play, the westernized phrase. Let me play devil's advocate. What do you say to those people who be like, I use my phone for business. It's a tool. I use my phone for networking. I use my phone for whatever. We've all heard the excuses.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And
what do you say to them?
If so, then that's not a bad thing. You're using it for a purpose. You know what I'm saying? You're using it with a purpose. If you are conducting business on your phone, but let's be realistic and look at the facts of it, bro. How much time are you spending on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever it may be? How much time are you spending on there? Because how much business are you doing on there? You scrolling.
Right.
You tapping through stories. You know what I'm saying? So I think that you got to be mindful of that, though, man. Like, I really try to be mindful of it myself. And like I was saying before we started, you know, my mouth is closest to my ears. So anything I'm saying, I need to hear it first and foremost. You feel what I'm saying?
Heavy.
So be mindful of what you're doing on your phone, though. You know what I mean? It's going to impact you on your day-to-day. And even like I mentioned in one of my poems, bro, you know, I said, visual fornication, but trying to stay off the gram before my eyes testify about the sin within the glance. You feel what I'm saying? So
talk to them.
Just be mindful of what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the stupid tube.
Yeah. And then past the phone though, like, you know, I don't feel like as many people have like the addiction to the TV. It's probably not as prominent as it once was, even though it's still a huge problem, I'm sure.
Well, the thing is TV has evolved.
Transitioned to a small thing in your hand. Yeah.
Because everything is streamed now, so basically you got TV on the go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but my grandfather, man, Logani, man, he retired. He was a retired teacher and a retired truck driver. Like, he retired twice from 2 different jobs.
That's crazy.
But when he retired, though, he retired when I was, maybe in my teens, if that. But literally ever since then, like, his form of pleasure is like watching TV. You know what I'm saying? He literally loves watching TV. But it got to the point where, like, his body has taken a toll from sitting in the chair so long.
So deteriorating.
Yeah, like, seriously. And then, like, even, like, I'm not the most productive person in comparison to everybody else. Like, I know I do a lot of things within my day, but we can all do more. But when I look at all the things that I do within my day, and then, like, I'll go see him and I'll just be thinking, like, man, you just been sitting in this chair for the past weeks. You know what I'm saying? And I've been doing all these things. Look at all these things I've done every day.
Do you feel like he in a position now though that he can do that because he earned it?
I feel like that's how he feels. But in reality, how have you earned your time? No, that's not you can't possibly do that. You're wasting it. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to be asked about this one day. And this is what, you know, when I talk to him and get into the depths of it with him, because like I care about my grandfather, the people who I care about, of course I'm going to talk to you about the more serious matters. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going to be the one that's just watching it and not saying nothing. I'm going to say something. And I ask him all the time, what are you going to say when Allah asks you? You know, what are you going to say? But he's going to ask you about all this time, these past 15 years that you just sat here and watched NCIS. You know what I mean? Man, Allah God, you know what I'm saying? And don't think that I'm talking down, like, kind of cynically on him. Like, I love my grandfather.
Yeah, because it's balanced. I hear you.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm just using him as an example. You know what I mean? And I tell him all the time, man, you done got wrapped up in the devil's box. You feel what I'm saying? You done fell into the devil's box, man. That's how I refer to TVs. That's how I view TVs. Like, even at my own home, like, I unhook my game from the TV. I don't even like my TVs plugged in because I don't want to get sucked into that hole, man. Like this, okay, let me give you an example. Say you're watching a TV series. It got 3 seasons, 10 episodes a season. Each episode is 1 hour. That's 90 hours. 90 hours out your life that you spent watching something that is of no benefit to you. That is... Like, bro, you're going to be asked about this. Like, we act like we aren't going to be asked about all the things we do. Every last thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, people really look at that like that's not going to happen. And us as believers, you know what I'm saying? We have to know that that's going to happen. Like, one of the, articles of faith is believing in the day of judgment. Mm-hmm. It's not a day. It's going to be as real of a day as this is. Even more real than this is. And the repercussions and the things that we're going to be asked about are going to be, serious, bro. It's not like a game. And I feel like a lot of people take life as a playing matter, bro, and it's not nothing to play about.
I also feel like some people might listen to this and be like, oh, you just being an outlier, right? But I've seen you. I've seen your daughters. Mm-hmm. Like, they're not TV kids.
Nah.
Like, like they like want to move around, want to be outside, want to do stuff.
Oh, my daughters love being on the go.
Yeah, you're like, so like you living the very things that you speak. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Me, I straddle the fence. I don't have any social media, so
right.
So like, I don't feel like I don't have FOMO. I don't care. Like it's not like because I feel like that stuff really. It's another version of a video game. It's like Sims, bro. It don't really matter. Like none of that stuff on the internet matters, bro.
And you're gonna portray yourself in the best light on there. Exactly. So you're never gonna really. You're
never gonna show your bad side. You're never gonna show when you're having a rough day, bad day, when things ain't going your way, when you feeling bloated, when you like you're never gonna show those real moments. So it's always like a mask. It's always a mask. Like we in the spot now. I got a TV in the living room. I got my gaming section, but I don't have a TV in my bedroom. The bedroom is for sleep. Yeah. The bedroom is for rest. Like,
literally, and I studied psychology in school, and we did like a sleep study, and literally you're not supposed to use your bed for anything besides sleeping in. Like you're not supposed to like chill in your bed. It's supposed to be a place for sleeping. You see what I'm saying? That's how to optimally use it.
Right, because it's supposed to set off a trigger right in the brain. When the brain gets into the bed, it's time to go to sleep.
Yeah. But if you're doing all these things that are active activities, your brain's not going to be processing your bed like that. You feel what I'm saying?
So the grand scheme of things is these things distract from you doing what's best with your time, right? Yeah. But let's get into some minor nuances. Mm-hmm. Like we know that it robs you of your time, but robs you of money. Yeah. It robs you of money because you could be doing something else to make yourself, like while you're watching let's say NCIS or you watching somebody else make money by being actors, like that's not putting any money in your pocket. No. Women, the way TV and the internet portrays women, like now instead of you having halal interactions, I'm gonna just put that in quotation marks. Instead of you having those real interactions and having some type of response that way, like you're getting these haram interactions and responses because of the things that trigger you on the internet. Yeah, we know porn, but like really Instagram like soft porn now. TikTok is like all of that stuff is like because everybody on the internet naked.
Yeah.
So like never mind that. Never mind it robbing you of your time. It's robbing you of your morality.
Mm-hmm.
It's robbing you of your what is the word I'm looking for? When you become desensitized. Like so stuff that would normally like prick your soul, things that would make you like, if you looking at it from a sane point of view, like dang, that's kind of messed up. Now you start to justify it in your own head that this is cool because like in reality, yes, people have the right to choose and do whatever they want to do, but like, would you want your sister being portrayed on the internet like such? Would you want your daughters to be portrayed on the internet like such? Like when I look at it like that, I'm like, nah. And the same goes for men. I'm not about to get into the whole misogynistic thing or like, you only speaking on women, but like, nah, men should represent themselves properly too.
It goes both ways. And you know, both genders are falling victim to it. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
It's not like when a woman open her phone up, she's seeing men the same way that when men open our phone up, we see women. You know what I'm saying? They're on there. They're showing the opposite gender for sure. You're going to see it. And one of the things that, speaking back on the what was the word that she used?
What, desensitized?
Desensitizing.
Yeah.
Even, I'm not gonna go off on like a tangent with it or nothing, but even like pornography, you know what I'm saying? Like how that will desensitize you to some stuff that's supposed to be stimulating to you, you know, like.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to desensitize you to it, and you're going to be searching for, you know, deeper. You're going to get deeper and deeper into that rabbit hole if you go into it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a dangerous. It's really dangerous. You know what I'm saying? And like, but this all ties back to it being a distraction. Though, right? Like you're taking away from you, especially with the porn. Like you're taking your energy. You know what I'm saying? Like
we become weaker men.
Yeah, for sure.
Science, I mean, that ain't even an opinion, right? The science.
Because you're just releasing that testosterone because you have no limitation to yourself.
So let me ask you like a little, maybe it's not a two-part question, maybe it is a two-part question. So do you believe, like, why do you believe the black community is so impacted or so heavy into, like, what is our obsession with entertainment? Why does it only impact us so heavy? Or is it the fact that it does impact all of us, but we're just not exposed to the other group's version of their entertainment? Because I think ours is the most poisonous.
Yeah, and ours is the most popular, and ours is the most obtainable for our demographic. And I think that one thing about entertainment, whether it be being an artist or being an athlete, these are all forms of entertainment.
Yeah.
And we motivate our kids to strive for these things. You know, we all want our kids to play sports and be dogs in sports. You know, you have a boy, you want to be a dog at basketball, football, whatever it is. We push our kids into even other avenues of entertainment though. Like look how heavily we're into like music and these kids be learning these songs super early and dancing around super early. You know what I mean? Like we're pushing our kids subconsciously into entertainment. But the thing is, one of my issues with the entertainment industry is we know who runs these entertainment industries.
Facts.
And we know what their agenda is with it. Their agenda isn't for you to benefit, really.
Hidden in plain sight.
Yeah, exactly. And with people just blinding themselves to it, I feel like that's the danger of it. You feel what I'm saying? And I wish that we would push our kids to do more productive things than just entertain people. Because as black people, we're better than just entertainers. You see what I'm saying? Like we're really brilliant people. And I feel like, you know, when you see, especially us, we have a bit more insight on it because we see these people come from overseas as Muslims, you know, in the mosques and stuff, and we see what they push their kids to do. They're telling all their kids go to school for engineering.
Man.
You see what I'm saying? They're going to neuroscience. Like, they're going to school for high-profile jobs.
There's some detriment to that, and we know that too.
Yes.
But the things that they're telling them to strive for, I get where you're going.
Yeah, and it's like not the entertainment. You know, like they're not telling their kids, "Oh, go do this so you can entertain people."
Yeah.
Go do this so you can benefit even spiritually. Like these professions benefit you past just your the Dünya. You see what I'm saying?
Can I paint a dark picture though with us?
Mm-hmm.
You know, during slave times,
Mm-hmm.
The whole monkey thing, the whole
Yeah.
entertainment. I feel like entertainment today especially for black people, because I don't really see it with no other group.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like dance now. It's like you are a monkey,
Yeah.
and this is the show. And like you dance, you tap dance, you scream, you holler, you bounce around, you embarrass yourself,
Yeah.
you show lack of character for money.
And I meant to mention last pod, there was somebody named Oda Benga in 1906, bro. Put him in a zoo with the monkeys.
See, man.
In 1906, bro, we talking about 100 years ago.
So I brought that up, that I painted that picture because like when we look at like issues in like today's sports entertainment, like the Kyrie situation, like not being able to speak out. The moment you supposed to play sports, the moment you decide that you want to have any type of thought process or any type of intellectual position, or if you just want to have a stance on anything that don't agree with the machine, you are ostracized.
Yeah, but I think that literally carries over from, like, you know, I'm not trying to be that old black man who's just angry with the white people. That's not my stance at all. But you know, it does carry over from slavery. Though. You know,
for sure.
If you learn how to read and write, what they do, they cut your tongue out.
Well, at the end of the day, too, like we can't. This being the angry black man thing, don't bode well. Like you still got a choice.
Yeah.
You still make a decision. Like here's the thing: you get out of your position or you get out of that situation you in. You making all this money, but like you making all this money and you stay silent. You making all this money or you don't want to make changes in your community.
Especially if you have that voice and you know that you're eloquent enough.
You're complicit at that point.
Yeah.
So I think, because we have musicians do it, we have sports athletes do it, it's like they be advocating for each other. Mm-hmm. And like, how are they advocating? Well, if they catch you in a commercial or they catch you on a TikTok or Instagram and you singing and rapping this song that's talking about disrespecting women.
Yeah.
It's talking about drugs and you celebrating it. Yeah. When the kids see that, they hear that song. Oh, this is that song. Yeah, how'd you hear about? Oh, I saw so and so listening to it on the gram. I saw this is that and the third. Like
the TikTok dances, bro. The TikTok dances.
You're literally look. I even bring something as far like I hate 2K. I hate 2K now. I grew up playing 2K. I hate that game. Yeah. And let me give you a little bit of insight on why I hate that game. The game 2K basketball game used to just be about playing basketball. It used to be about building your guy up, you know what I'm saying, getting your overall rating up, getting online, doing what you do, right? Mm-hmm. They didn't add social media storylines into the gameplay, bro.
I know. The My Player stuff.
Bro, I just want to play basketball.
Nah, I don't want to. You got to go through the whole life. They want it to be like GTA /
Listen, bro. If I don't have social media in real life, why in the hell do I want to get on the game to pretend like I'm in social media? Like, why can't I skip the storyline? So it's like you want to talk about distraction. They even got distractions within the distraction, bro. Think about that, bro. This game is a basketball game. Why do I have to run around the city with this kid to do a TikTok video?
Yeah, I want to ask you 2 things though that you just reminded me of. I'm gonna touch on the first one quick because it's quick, but when I look at like the LeBrons and I look at all these huge black athletes, I literally sometimes think about how they used to do like the Mandingo stuff, you know, have them in there fighting to death. You know what I'm saying? Like this is like, I feel like football is like a softcore version of that.
Bro, the owner of the Texans, when he was saying that he didn't like what was going on, and he was like, this is like the inmates running the asylum. That's how they look at us, bro. It never changes. Yeah, it never changes.
But what I'm more interested in knowing is, how do you feel like do you feel like it's better for you being off of social media at our age? Because I feel like our age demographic, even though you're slightly older than me, is like we're prime time for understanding how social media and even the evolution of technology works, because we literally grew up from, you know what I'm saying, Game Boys with no backlight where you couldn't play it once the sun went down.
Yeah, it's tough.
You know what I'm saying?
It's tough.
Batteries die, it's over with, whole game gone.
It's tough.
Ain't like you can load the game back up if you remember this.
Yeah. Lose all your data if you don't save the game.
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah.
If you ain't got no memory card, you can't turn the PlayStation off.
Don't remind me, bro. I had some time.
But don't let the game start skipping. You be like, oh man, it was crushing time. But I'm saying we watched the whole evolution of technology, so I feel like we're primed to understand how social media works, and like I don't feel like it's as dangerous to us as it is the younger generation who knows nothing but that. I feel like they're gonna fall victim to a lot more because they haven't seen anything besides that. You see what I'm saying?
Well, let me tell you
So
why.
like why? Yeah, that's why I want to know. Like, why did you make that decision, and how do you feel? Is it better for you, or do you feel like it just didn't matter? Like, you know what I mean? What do you?
I don't feel like social media matters.
Okay.
However, I do think it impacts my generation even more so than the ones under us, because it's like, you know, the old saying, that you know better, you do better, right?
Yeah.
We the ones who gonna be raising the kids.
Yeah.
I got younger sisters in that younger generation, like literally in that younger 17, 18 years younger than me. So it's like, when I look at them, it's like I was still growing up, I grew up in a time when we were still going outside. We still had interaction. We still know how to conversate. You know what I'm saying? Now everything revolves around the damn screen.
Yeah.
And so for me, I have to speak for me. I don't miss it. I don't care for it. I don't think that anything, like, I know that there's many people with more money than me that can come and argue with me and say, I make money, I do this with my phone, I do this on social media, and they can make very valid points in their bank account that they make that is valid for them.
Yeah.
But if you ask me, I think that social media needs to go away.
Yeah.
I think it's a detriment to character. I think it's because it creates facades of your actual being. Mm-hmm. So you're creating an image. Mm-hmm. You're your own PR firm. Yeah. You're creating an image that's not really you. Yeah. And most people like, I'm always me. Not really, bro.
Yeah. And they literally convince themselves that they are something that they're not through social media.
And that is a psychological problem.
Yeah, it really is.
So if you're asking me myself, I can't speak for anybody else. I'm not speaking on behalf of religion. I'm not, because I don't want to be like, oh, he's speaking like that because he's Muslim, he being strict. Nah, I'm telling you, outside of that, I do not think there's much benefit in the social media. That's me personally, and that's me, and I feel like I can speak to it because I've been without it. Mm-hmm. And when I feel happier, I feel like my interactions with people are more genuine. Mm-hmm. Like when I'm talking to people, like if we sitting and chatting it about, bro, when we around, ain't nobody on their phone scrolling. Yeah, like we chatting, like we're present.
Right.
And I feel like that's what's missing.
Yeah, but I feel like that's what comes with our generation knowing that, because like I feel like we get that from the generation that raised us. They could give it. You know what I mean? They don't care about no phone. They ain't worried about that. But
that's because their TVs had sundials. But keep going.
But I was saying, like, I feel like, because for me with social media, it doesn't make me no never mind. Like, I'm not like pressed if I can't. Like, some people like can't wait to go look at social media and see. Right. You know what I'm saying? Look at whatever they like to look at on there. For me, I don't care about social media. Like, it doesn't impact me to the point where I'm like pressed by it. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can go days without getting on it and not even realize that I did it. You know what I mean?
But there you go, being an outlier.
Yeah. I understand that I am the outlier.
Because numbers show.
Yes, the opposite.
Yeah, that those that partake in it, the impact. Like, look at the suicide rate.
Yeah, facts.
Look, you know what I'm saying? Look at the depression, the anxiety, because you playing the comparison game. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying you could, because somebody could look. There's an argument for everything. Somebody can be like, oh, well, you can compare in real life. Absolutely, you can. Mm-hmm. However, I'm gonna say something radical. I don't believe that we were meant to have this much access to this many people. I don't feel like that should, like, you know.
Do you think it's the people, or do you feel that way about information as well?
No, I don't feel that way about
access to tons.
Plethora information. Yeah. But information can also be useful. You just downloading data on people. Like, and I say that because, like, as you get older, right? You know, some people are in your life for a season. Some people are in your life for a chapter, whatever, right? Yeah. And then you move on, right? Yeah. But social media allows you to hold on to these raggedy pages, allow you to hold on to these editable chapters that shouldn't be in your book, that shouldn't have made it to this next chapter in your life. You can't fully grow and evolve and change into the person you want to change into or want to be because you hold on to old stuff. You can't get water in your cup if it's full.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I you know how many times have we heard this saying growing up? There's plenty of fish in the sea, right? Mm-hmm. Let me tell you what the saying should actually be now because of social media. There's plenty of fish in the sea, but somebody peed in it. That's how I feel. Like, that's how I feel in general. I don't feel like Like, if you really want to connect with somebody, if you want to network with somebody, then let's go sit somewhere. Let's chat.
Yeah,
let's have a real conversation. Eye contact.
Yeah, even still, when you're selling something, you know, hand to hand, face to face is the best way to do it. But I had something else I really wanted to touch on in this, bro. As we're talking about, you know, different distractions and different deceptions, and one of them that I feel like is important for me to speak on because I struggle with getting enough of it is sleep.
That's a good one. Cause before we get into that, I have to ask you though.
Mm-hmm.
Social media, habit, hobby, or addiction. What is it for you? What is it for the world? And like what? If they're the same, say they're the same. But what is it when you observe it? When you observe yourself, honestly, and then you observe other people. What is it? What is it? Is it a habit? Is it a hobby? Or is it an addiction?
So for myself, I will say it's a habit, but I don't think it's an extreme habit for me. But it is a habit more than a hobby, because to be honest with you, I don't like posting on social media. I like building the content, but I don't like to keep up with my social media. So I couldn't consider it a hobby if I don't like it. You see what I'm saying? But it is a habit because I'm on it frequently, not tremendously, but I'm on it frequent. I get on there daily, you know, and I wouldn't consider it an addiction because I'm not obsessive about it at all. Like, if it was to go away tomorrow, if they said, "Oh, no more TikTok," like, I'm not gonna care. They said no more Instagram, I don't care. Like, my day is still gonna continue to go the same way. I promise you, nothing's gonna change. It might get better. You know what I mean? But for the world, I feel like, so when we say the world, I feel like it's a crazy thing because we live in Western societies, and majority of the people who are on these things are in Western societies. Though Western society is the most influential culture in the world, it also is like has the spotlight effect. Like, when you think the whole world works this way, just because we see the whole West work this way. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know if it's an issue throughout the entire world, realistically. I don't know about the African countries and, you know, some of the, like, I don't know. I have to tell you, I know about UK. I know about America. It's an issue there. Yeah, for sure. It's an addiction. Probably people got a problem with it.
Their algorithm ain't the same though either, and you know they talk about it. That's not the same. So a lot of the dumb stuff that we see, they're not really seeing that in their countries and places. But okay, I wanted to get your opinion on it, because I don't see it nothing other than an addiction, because of the effects that it has on the humans, on human brain, human thought process, thought patterns.
Yeah, I think it's like a drug. It's similar to a drug, bro. But I think, like, you can do things though, man. If people really, really cared enough for themselves, you can do things to correct the algorithm. Like, when I seen your YouTube, when you pulled that YouTube up, bro, I was like, man, mashallah. You know what I'm saying? Like, your YouTube tightened up. I'm like, oh, I gotta get on my game. I gotta go through, start deleting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, it's definitely a choice, bro. But like, okay. And then we can get into the sleep conversation, but like, you know, it's not about your public. This is why I don't think social media is useful, right? Because I'm about to explain just based off the statement you made about my YouTube. You saw it.
You consider YouTube a social media?
Nah, I don't.
Okay.
Well, look at, some people say but you saw my social media.
Yeah, but it's more like a streaming platform.
Yeah, it's a streaming platform.
Then it's social media.
But I feel like, so I think that. What we keep saying is you have a choice. You have a choice. You have a choice, right? You make a conscious choice to the things that you do and you consume, right? I think social media is useless because, like, who you are, your public image is hot garbage. Your public image is not who you are, right? It's what you do and the things you think and how you behave in private, right? So Allah, you and I both know this. Allah observes everything. He knows everything. He knows everything you do, everything you think, right? So that said, like, if I'm out in public portraying this righteous image, but then I'm at home watching filth, like, I'm worse than the people who are acting that way in public.
Yeah, it's hypocritical.
Yeah.
And we know that the lowest part of hellfire is reserved for the hypocrites.
That's a cool. Absolutely.
So I feel like that's something people should be extremely mindful of. Like, okay, let me. Two things came to mind when you said that. So first off, I feel like in today's day and age, we are not mindful enough about some of the things that matter. Mm-hmm. Like this is a trick of the shaitan in and of itself.
It's a distraction.
It's a distraction, and we don't pay attention to how we use our mouths even to speak. You see what I'm saying? Like a lot of times, you should probably bite your tongue. Not you specifically, but I'm saying like in general, people should bite their tongue.
Yeah, me specifically. yeah, me.
But I'm saying like even when it comes to like talking about people, like it's a danger to backbite, and we know that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that the tongue is going to lead the most people to the hellfire. Mm-hmm. So like this isn't something we should be playing about, and we know that in Islam, lying is a major sin. Mm-hmm. It's murder is a major sin, and as is lying. You see what I'm saying? Like it is a serious thing to do, so we should be mindful of how we're speaking. But people aren't mindful enough nowadays, and that goes to what were you just saying right before that? What made me say that?
Just being conscious. Remember, like doing what you're doing. Like so, you talking about being mindful of things. Like I'm mindful of the things that I consume. So my YouTube looks like a page for a streaming service full of reminders. Yeah, it looks like a paid service full of somebody who's trying to get right.
Oh yeah, and being fearful of being a hypocrite. That's what I was about to touch on. Man, forgive me if I'm mistaken, but I'm almost certain it was Abu Bakr and Umar were having a conversation about something that the Prophet said, and he said when Umar came to Abu Bakr and said, when I leave the company of the Prophet, I don't feel as like spiritually inclined as I do when I'm around you. Does that make me a hypocrite? Ooh. And he said, if that's the case, then I'm a hypocrite too. So they went to the Prophet and asked him, you know what I'm saying? And he said that if that was the case, then you would be like the malaika, like you would be like the angels if you could keep that level of spirituality. Right, you know what I'm saying? So like, but the thing is, like, one of the signs of a hypocrite is not thinking you're hypocritical.
That's why I said what I said when you was like, not you specifically. I'm like, yeah, me specifically.
Yeah, because we should fear hypocrisy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, why wouldn't you? If that's where the lowest part of hell is, that's where the people who are the worst of the worst are going to go.
So, with that point, I'm about to say something controversial. Mm-hmm. If we should fear hypocrisy, and if you call yourself a good person, how is not using social media in a certain type of way, how is that not hypocritical to the message that you show? No, overall, just like the message that you show, and as opposed to the message that you're trying to portray. So portraying something and the message that you're showing are two different things.
Yes,
that's the definition of hypocrisy.
Yes, which is why, even going back to giving the advice to your own self, like I need to listen to myself speak, because I know that is something that I struggled with, especially like trying to make music as a Muslim. You see what I'm saying?
Same.
I understood the hypocrisy in it. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like I was trying to accomplish something through balancing, Deen and Dünya.
Same. I was justifying. That's how I was justifying.
Yeah, me too. And I was thinking, like, if somebody comes to Islam as a means of listening to something or learn something about Islam through listening to me, that it was beneficial. But really, it's not necessarily the sin, it's the one you're sinning against. You see what I'm saying? So like that for me is what made me come back from doing it, because it wasn't like I was thinking like, oh, it's not that big of a sin because I'm bringing these people, I'm doing good through the sin. But it's not the sin that was the issue, it's the one I'm sinning against. You see what I'm saying? So that's what made me really want to draw back from it. Like, if this is displeasing to Allah, how can I look at this as if it's a good deed?
Oh,
you can't.
That's heavy.
You'll never mix water and oil. No matter how hard you try.
That's heavy.
It is, bro. It is.
Ain't the sin is who you sinning against. I don't know, bro. You have to drop that. Yeah, we would just go ahead and start talking about sleep. Ain't even to follow that one up. There's no need to even follow up after that.
Yeah, that's man, cool. For real though, bro. That it's a serious matter, man. And even the sleep, I feel like it is too, man. Like, even when we talk about, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how he used to sleep, we know that he stood in his prayer for the last third of the night. He didn't sleep all night long. He slept in the mid afternoon, you know, and he would sleep at night, but he would split it up. He didn't just sleep 8 hours straight. This is not.
I feel like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he goes, you either got it or you don't got it. And you don't got it, buddy. I'm sorry, bro. Like, I struggle so much with sleep. So, like, to be able to sleep, wake up, and go, I have to just, like, stay up and then try to go to sleep after the fact, or it ain't gonna work for me.
Yeah. I'm similar in that way, but I think I got anxiety when it comes to sleeping though, bro. Like I really like when I start thinking about going to sleep, I just start thinking about all the stuff that I still have to do, and like it will literally make me like, okay, well, do this, and then you can lay down.
You ever try bigger? Do you think about death before sleep, bro?
Death? Yeah, every time, bro. I like to go to sleep with wudu, and I like to, you know, say the shahada before I go to sleep. Like these are things that I really try to do every time I go to sleep. Yeah, I'm thinking like I might not wake up.
I say shahada before going to sleep because I be like, bro, what if that's it?
You want me to tell you what though, bro? So as you know, but they probably don't know yet, I'm diabetic, and I really feel like it's such a blessing for me, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like even though it has its hardships, bro, but the blessings outweigh it so much in my eyes. Even like, you know, no hardship befalls a believer except for that it's the means of like recompassing their sins. You see what I'm saying? Even to the point of a prick of a thorn. Mm-hmm. So like me having to give myself insulin shots all the time, that's what I think about, and it really makes it much easier. Like for me as a Muslim, when I think about the fact that I'm doing this in Bismillah, you know what I'm saying, like fisabilillah, like I'm not doing this for my own benefit. I'm doing this in hopes of pleasing Allah by doing this, by preserving my body and by causing this little bit of harm to myself in order to benefit myself, not only physically but also spiritually. You see what I'm saying? These kind of things really help me cope with stuff like that. But one of the things that also happened from me getting diabetes is I turn into like a bed sweater. You see what I'm saying? Like I sweat in my sleep.
Okay.
And it happens when my sugar's high and I go to sleep, and then like my insulin, because I have a long acting insulin, so it like takes time to work out, but it'll gradually drop your sugar. But in that process, you sweat, and I'll wake up sometimes sweating bad, and I'll be like, dang, like my sugar must have been high, you know what I'm saying? And I'll be like, man, like I truthfully didn't have to wake up from that, you know what I mean? Like one of the worst times that my sugar ever got, I was talking to my grandfather who's also diabetic, and when I told him how high it was, he was like, oh, that would have been the last time for me. Like, that would have been it. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I can't allow my sugar to get that high or I'm going to die. And then in the morning, from my highest high that I ever had, they allowed me to fall to my lowest low. Like, they induced me into a coma. That's how high it was. And in the morning when I woke up, my sugar was at 28, which is, like, ridiculously low, bro. Like, I couldn't even move. I couldn't say anything. I literally just, like, pushed the button on the bed, you feel me, to call for the nurse. And they come in and just like shoot sugar water into your vein, like into your IV. Like, but when I told him like how low I was, he was like, oh, I'd have kicked the bucket. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, like that was 2 back-to-back days, quick examples of how he would have passed away from going through this. Yeah. And I'm fortunate enough to have another opportunity at pleasing Allah. You see what I'm saying? So like these are the kinds of things I really think about before I go to sleep. Like, man, it could be the last time you know what I mean? Like, it's really not guaranteed that I wake up, and that's why I feel fortunate about having diabetes, because I'm super mindful of that, though.
Dude, is sleep a distraction from getting closer to Allah?
Okay, so with the sleep and being a distraction, this is what I think. Yes, if you're missing Fajr, yeah. Oh, it's an issue. Ooh. That's an issue, bro. Period, point blank, especially in our society.
Talk to him.
But even past that though, like, to what point are you sleeping for pleasure? You see what I'm saying? Some people aren't sleeping. A lot of people do not sleep out of necessity, because we live in a society where we have like luxuries. You know what I'm saying? We have the luxury of being able to sleep longer than what we really need to. You got you know what I mean? You can go to sleep early and sleep all night if you felt like it. You know what I mean? So you can use sleep as a form of pleasure, and I feel like that. If it comes in between your connection with Allah and you reading Quran or you praying, and this is for Muslims specifically, really, to be honest with you, because I can't really speak for the kuffar. Like, you sleep all you want, but as far as being a Muslim, you have to be mindful of your sleep, especially with Fajr, bro. I never used to get up. I hated mornings before I was a Muslim, bro. I wasn't trying to get up in the morning. You tripping. Holler at me at noon. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be up all night. Holler at me at noon.
That's when your day started.
Oh, yeah. It was like that was morning. You know what I'm saying? So, but being a Muslim, like the amount of appreciation that I have for getting up in the morning now, I get up, like, bro, we have to get up 365 days of the year before the sun comes up. It's not like we just doing this like a job, like, oh, you got your 4 or 5 days, you got to do this. Nah, we talking about when you sick, when you not sick, bro, we had to get up. You see what I'm saying? You had to disrupt your sleep, no matter how many hours you done got. Last night, I told you, bro, I went to sleep at 5 in the morning, got up at 5:55.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. If you don't, bro, especially during Ramadan, it's best to just go ahead and get up. Because if you don't eat, if you don't get up and eat sahur, bro, you're gonna be sick.
Man, see, that's one thing, bro.
And you mad at yourself. Like, the crazy thing is you're not mad at nobody else but yourself. You like, dang, why didn't I get up, bro? Like, dang.
See, I like hearing people's experiences like that because I'm diabetic, so like if I have to eat, I just have to eat. I can't jeopardize my health. Like, I'm exempt from it, so like I don't have that same. I don't understand the struggle, bro.
So like just train like. How I was in the past, like really being on a heavy training routine with like lifting and stuff like that, will be getting up early to go lift and then eat and not be good because I'm already up well before it's time to pray. But like those days where it'd be like off days, dog, and you miss. You just and your stomach having full blown conversations with you in the middle of the day, like, and it's like you gotta be disciplined.
Yeah,
and you're not mad. Like I would never say that I was mad about fasting, bro, because there's people who fast every day don't have a choice.
Yeah, facts.
Right.
And when you break your fast, they're not breaking nothing. Right. They still fasting.
Right. So it's like it's not that. It's just like it's a combination of two things. It's like, dang, I wanted to eat. But also, like, I was late for Fajr or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was wondering what you thought about that. And I'm glad you actually, because I can see sleep being a distraction if you oversleep and you good with oversleeping. Mm-hmm. Or like you sleep like you taking a nap and you sleep through through multiple. Now, granted, your intentions, like, Allah will reward you for your intentions. Like, if that wasn't your intent.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I work third shift, so there's been days where I've slept through, Dhuhr, Asr. I'll be like, dang, especially wintertime. Oh, wake up having to do 17 rakats. Like, dang.
My man said I gotta run the whole 5, bro. He said I gotta run the gauntlet. No way.
No, I'm just messing. But if it comes in between you and your worship of Allah as a Muslim, like that's where it becomes problematic. But one thing that made me want to get up even more is like, a way of looking at it is like, do you want to be amongst those who Allah didn't invite to stand before Him? You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's really the case if you aren't getting up for it. You're not one of the ones who Allah wanted to stand in front of Him that day. Like, you need to check yourself. As a Muslim, you need to check yourself and know that Ramadan is coming up. Stop playing with yourself. You see what I'm saying? Like, stop playing yourself, man.
Nah, that's really what you do. You playing yourself.
You playing yourself, and you don't even know it. Like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that if the people knew that they would crawl to the masjid to pray Fajr, on their hands and knees, you would crawl there if you knew how beneficial it was for you.
Let me ask you something about because we talking distraction. World is the Western world is a big distraction.
Oh yeah,
and we know these things to be true. We also know for Islam to be the truth. And in knowing that, I personally feel like your day should revolve around prayer. Like, I don't stop work. I don't stop and do all this other extra stuff without, what I'm saying, when prayer time comes in, it's time to pray. And I let job employers and interviews, like, listen, I'm a Muslim, I pray 5 times a day. I'm going to pray if it comes in while I'm at work. Is that going to be a problem? If they say yeah, then I'm like, this ain't the job for me. And so why, if we know this truth, we know these truths, we know that we're supposed to hold on to our salah, we know that we're supposed to be this Islam is not a religion of just titles and status. It's a religion of doing. If we know this, why do you think that we've allowed the world to pull us away from the thing that we know is light? Like, why would we walk towards darkness?
Like, I'm gonna answer this with 2 parts. One, if you are as a Muslim, you have to schedule your day around the prayers, or else you're going to miss. It's easy as that. At some point, you are going to end up missing salat if your day is not moving around the salats. You see what I'm saying? You are going to end up missing them. It's going to happen. That's just bottom line.
1,000% agree.
And on the second part of the answer is, the shaitan, when he spoke with Allah, he wasn't lying to Allah. How can you? Only a fool is going to try and lie to Allah if you're directly conversing with him. And he told him that he was going to try and get every one of the children of Adam to stray from the path. This is his entire existing goal. He was not lying. You are not excluded from that.
Shaitan believe in the law. That's the wild part.
Yeah, he know about law. He know what's going on.
That's the wild part. He knows what's going on.
But when he told him that, he wasn't lying to him though. Like, he really is going to try and get all of us to stray from the path. And even like if we think about Adam alayhi salam himself, how long, it doesn't never say not in Christianity or Islam how long it took for Iblis to convince them to eat from that tree.
Yeah.
We have no knowledge of that, bro. It could have, how long, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if there's nothing but trees around you and you decide to eat from that, how long did it take him to convince him to do that? You see what I'm saying? He will play the slow game with you. Do not think that you're better at playing chess than he is. You see what I'm saying? And this is why we turn to Allah to protect us and forgive us as well, because we know that we gonna fall victim. But you have to try and strive against him. You see what I'm saying? And know that he's going to work, bro. You see what I'm saying?
But see, the point that you're making now goes back to my point when you asked me about social media. This is why I say it's no good. He plays the long game.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a part of the long game. So whether you thought it was beneficial at first, whether you thought it had spurts of being beneficial, it's not beneficial. Yeah, the long game it's not beneficial.
Yeah, and when you really think back to it, and we talk about using the time, like, think about the other things you could be doing instead of scrolling. Even as far as obtaining knowledge, as Muslims, we know that's an obligation upon us, is to learn your deen. Right. Ignorance is not an excuse. So even though it is, but it isn't, because if you're purposely not learning, that's where the fault comes in. Now, genuinely not knowing something is one thing. If you just haven't been taught it, you just won't know.
Right.
You're not at fault for that. But if you are not, like, okay, let me give you a good example of what I'm saying. When it came to music, I didn't want to know the rulings on music, bro.
Oh, yeah, you weren't trying to hear it?
I didn't want to know, because I knew
once you knew, you had to,
I was going to have to, I ain't want to know. Yeah. It was people who bought me books who made, put it in my face, and it was like I could not obtain the knowledge. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I knew I had to.
Well, Shaitan will use loved ones indirectly, and I'm not even saying to their own understanding, because, like, I have people who, like, really love the type of music that I put out. You know the type of music that I put out. I'm not justifying none of it. But you know the type of music wasn't that stuff that we hear, right? They're like, oh, I love your music. And they were like, that would... I would step away, or I say I'm not making it, and then I would get hey, well, you should really think about making music again, bro. He was really making an impact, and I'm like, dang, like that. He plays those games with you, even though you know. For sure. You can't justify it, bro. Like, it's not, I'm not supposed to be doing it. That's the end of it. Like, and you kind of gotta be hardline with that type of stuff. You have to, because that's a distraction.
Yeah, like, people see it as like a extreme, bro, and it's not being extreme. It's literally like, if you're literally doing what you're supposed to be doing, and people see that as extreme. But the thing is, it's because they have no understanding or knowledge of Allah, and like how magnificent and majestic He is, and why we should be doing these things and not doing these things. You see what I'm saying?
The Western world had no structure.
Yeah.
No discipline.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally the do what thou will. But also the other scary thing is something that was told to me, and it makes sense, because it's like, when I first started learning about Islam, learning about the deen, and like memorizing the Quran, right? It was a lot easier, because I took like a 3-year layoff of not doing no music. And it was a lot easier to memorize and understand and keep hold of that. The moment that I got back into music, the moment that I started listening to music again, I started forgetting the Quran.
Word.
The Quran cannot live in the heart that shares a space with music.
Yes.
It cannot live in the heart, I'm getting kind of emotional just thinking about it because it's like I used to like I used to know a little bit more of the Quran, and I slowly but surely like I found myself sometimes, bro, in prayer, grasping at the surah that I know, and then I'll come out of it and I'll hear like a music lyric and I'll be like, yo, like that's not. And I want the Quran, like I want that to be a light in my heart. So it's so frustrating sometimes where I be like in it and I be forgetting, like, bro, I know this surah. Why am I forgetting the words? Why am I forgetting the words? And then later on I'll be listening to some, forgive my language, some bullshit that's not beneficial, bro. It's a distraction. So like the long game, like that's probably a better like title, the long game of distractions. Than just, speaking on distractions in general, because like no distraction singular by itself is powerful enough to pull you away from whatever your focus is, but a streamline of distractions put together like a puzzle can for sure pull you away from your focus and what's important.
Yeah, and with that, I was thinking about what we was talking about, playing a long game, and I think one of the other tricks of Shaitan with the long game is contentment, and being content with yourself and being content with your situation and comfortable. The best way to really see who you are and how you're going to react to something is put yourself in something that's uncomfortable, and that stuff is how you grow. But I feel like a lot of people today are so content because we live in such a comfortable life. You know what I'm saying? Like realistically, it's cozy, bro. We live luxury comparatively. You know what I'm saying? When we look at the atrocities going around the world, like even like Turkey and them, like, we sit comfy in the home while these people are over there suffering. And all you see in every video is them, glorifying Allah. You see what I'm saying?
That's one of the issues that I take with Christianity though. Oh, Jesus died for our sins, so I'm good.
Yeah, it's like
that's contentment.
Yeah, there's no accountability there. I can just do whatever, right?
No man can stand before God and basically be your lawyer to get you into heaven. Or be like, oh, it's not a man, it's a God. So no God gonna talk to another God and be your lawyer if that's what you want to say. Stuck for law.
Yeah. And with that, it's like you almost start being too pleased with yourself. You see what I'm saying? Like, the thought of that is really crazy, because even if we look at the example of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, why he had, man, we know that he was sent to perfect moral conduct and character. How is this man who's like that stand up till his feet swell in prayer, and what are we doing? You see what I'm saying? Like, he was living how he was living, and this was the measures he was going to. Look at what we doing. You see what I'm saying? And how we living, like, bro, that it's really crazy, bro. The fact that we just so complacent, bro, and so content with the things that we got going on. Like, we, as Muslims, bro, we have to do better. And I hope that, this is a form of pushing people to do better. Even myself, like, I hope that I'll really listen back to this and want for myself better. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not no joke, bro. The fact that, even when one of the companions, I want to say it was one of his wives, was, now don't give me the line about this story. I know the story, but I don't know who it was, but was talking about somebody being in Jannah. She was talking about her husband being in Jannah. And he said to her, how do you know where he's at? Like, did you judge his heart? Like, did you see his heart? I don't even know where I'm going. I don't even know what's going to happen with me on the day of judgment. How do you know what's going on with him? And this is, the one who brought us our religion, bro. This is one of the most beloved people. Like, his name still 1,400 years later is the most popular name in the world.
Yeah.
Like, we're not talking about just a regular man here. And this is how he treated life. You see what I'm saying? So, like, how do we feel like we had the nerve to just sit around, bro, and just play how we be playing and move how we move, man? Like, it's a serious thing, bro. I feel like nowadays people think that the purpose in life is to have fun and to be happy, but that's really not it. The purpose in life is to please Allah. And if you have to do that, some people have to do that through hardship. I didn't cuss, I'm saying hardship. You see what I'm saying? Like, some people are going to go through more difficult situations and have it harder than others, bro. And for them, their life may not be as enjoyable, but the thing is, they may be much more pleasing to Allah than the one who's just out here blissfully living, having fun.
Man.
And what matters at the end of the day, when that day is more real than today is,
It's better to go ahead and seek the pleasure of Allah, because when you do that, He'll grant you the pleasure of the people. But if you're seeking the pleasure of the people, you're gonna be SOL when that time comes.
Yeah, and you know, like even before we did this podcast and we was making our salah, like I asked Allah to make it genuine, you know, and to place barakah in this podcast, like not to just let it be something that we're doing for the people. I don't care to please the people. I pray that this is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see what I'm saying? So
heavy.
And I feel like, you know, even this, like I try to ignore my distractions. You know, I was running late here today, and I'm thankful for you being hospitable and you know, working with me on that. But with that being the case, it's like I could have continued to be distracted. You see what I'm saying? But I try to put my distractions to the side and trying to come do something to benefit myself and benefit others. Inshallah.
Inshallah. Yeah, you already know though. You know, you brought. No, we are. Here's the thing. Not every distraction is one that you create. Not every distraction is one you generate, right? Like, so there was a lot of things that played into this. Like, yeah, you was running behind, but then I had work stuff going on. So like it, see how like, you know, we planned it out. So it planned out perfect. So it's like the first episode, I'm sure they could tell from the recording, like my sinuses was whooping my behind, bro. And the night before, we was planning on recording the night before. No way I was gonna be able to record, bro. Like just sneezing every 3 seconds. But like, you know, I was a little bit better the next day and was able to get through the pod. So it's like sometimes things playing out the way it played out because that was the way it was supposed to plan out, not the way we thought that it should have planned out, right? And you never know. Maybe it was something on the road that Allah protected you from. Maybe there was a danger. You know what I'm saying? So that you know, Allah knows and we know not.
Thanks.
So that might have been a protection. So see, we can have the real conversation and look at it like, okay, yeah, you know, I was distracted or whatever. And you might very well have been distracted, but you also don't know by that distraction, because everything is by the will of Allah. You don't know what He was potentially protecting you from, right? So like, there's a lot of different. See, that's the beautiful thing about Islam. There's a lot of ways you can look at the things, but if you just look at it and be like, hey, this was by the will of Allah, then it's always gonna work out.
You know, wonders is the affair of the believers. Because when something good befalls them, they're thankful, and when something bad befalls them, they're patient and thankful.
Alhamdulillah. So like that's how like I'm really growing into that. I ain't always been that way, and I'm still not in alignment with how I want to be with that. But like, I'm definitely getting much better with, you know, good, bad, or indifferent. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, man. In closing, I like to share something with you, bro. This morning I had an emotional morning, bro. It's kind of wild. I was up so late. I think I mentioned earlier I had on stuff for like an hour last night. But I was up, man. I was thinking about my people, man. You know, we come from you know, Christian homes and stuff like this. Like, our family aren't Muslim, and I was thinking about it, man. And you know, I have people who I genuinely love to death. You know what I'm saying? But they're like not upon Islam. And somebody was asking me the other day, like, if you came down to saving them or somebody who's random and a Muslim, like, whose life would you save? And I had to tell him, like, you know, love them to death. But that's not even the decision I get to make. Like, the decision's already made. The hard part is that I got to follow through with the decision that's already made. I had to say the believer. You see what I'm saying? So like, when I think about these things and I think about the people who I genuinely love, and I think about the sincerity and severity of a day that's going to come where we really going to have to stand before Allah, bro, that stuff, it moves me. You see what I'm saying? And I was really emotional about that this morning, bro, thinking about people who I love. And even like, you know, my grandfather and my best of friends said this to me today, and I was thinking like how crazy it is how they're borderline Muslim, but they won't take the test. They won't testify to it. You see what I'm saying? Because they both were saying like, yeah, I believe in God. I believe there's only one God. And if what you tell me is from the Prophet Muhammad, I believe in the Prophet Muhammad. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But it's crazy like how they like they're so close. You see what I'm saying? But if they die upon what they're upon, then that's shirk and kufr, man. And I can't even pray for them. You feel what I'm saying? So that kind of stuff was moving me this morning, man. And with Ramadan coming up, I think that it's important that we all pray for people to be guided, even if you hate them. You know what I mean? You have to want them to be guided to the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
You want for your brother what you want for yourself. I'm thankful that you brought that up, because I think I was talking to my partner about this, and if any of my family happen to listen to this, like, understand it's with deep love and compassion that I want y'all to become Muslim, because like I've lost sleep. I've lost a lot of sleep thinking about that day, thinking about the people that I love, love deep down the bottom of my heart, and that if Allah grants me mercy and allows me into paradise, it'll be by His mercy and because I'm a believer. But like they won't get that chance, and that hurts me, bro. Like I know we gotta move how we move, but like I've cried multiple times thinking about that. So like it's tough. It's tough being, you know what I'm saying. I wasn't born Muslim, you know what I mean, and you think about that. Think about your family that, that believe what they believe, or and you know like mine are hardliners too. Like so it's when your family members start getting sick, things start happening, death start touching the family, and then you looking at them with these eyes, and they don't understand what you seeing, and it's like I see the end. Like I see the end. I see all, the end is coming for us all. Death don't discriminate. However, there's only one pathway. You know what I mean?
That don't got us to it.
And
and my partner, man, one thing that he said though, bro, that really like stuck with me, bro. Like, you know, cause I went and kicked it with him this morning afterwards. You feel what I'm saying? After I took my kids to school, we normally link up in the morning, you know what I mean, for a little minute. And when we was chilling, I was telling him about what I was thinking about, you know, a couple hours prior. And he was telling me, like, you know, he really made me take accountability with my own self. Because he was like, man, I'm not the type to sit down and read no book. You know, like, maybe God's way of giving me this book is through you. You see what I'm saying? Like, maybe you're supposed to be the one enlightening me. You see what I'm saying? Maybe that book ain't supposed to be what's enlightening me. Maybe it's you. You see what I'm saying? So it really made me take accountability with my own self and say, like, you know, I should be working harder at memorizing the words of Allah so I can, you know, like I showed you in that video. Now it's easy. The Quran is full of knowledge, full of wisdom, full of answers. You know, like, you got to take that up with your own self, bro. And it really made me, you know, reflect and look at my own self, bro. And you know, that's why I feel like this pod was so important, and nothing is coincidental. As Muslims, we don't believe in coincidences. This is all qadr of Allah.
Right.
So it wasn't coincidental that I was thinking about that this morning. It ain't coincidental that I came in here wanting to talk like this today. You know what I mean? Like,
what y'all don't know, this is every time we talk, it's on these times.
Yeah. But this is like how I want to exist, though.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, this is how I want to live my life. It's like serious. Even though I have fun, I play. Don't think that I don't, but I understand that at the end of the day, this is not no laughing matter. This is not no game. And when it's over, it's over. When that pen is lifted, it's done. So don't fall victim to these distractions. Don't fall victim to letting your time go before it's over.
Yeah, that's heavy. I'm with you on that, but I'll end it out on something lighter too. You know what I'm saying? If you ever find yourself getting too distracted on the game, and you playing FIFA, I'll be more than happy to bust your behind and get you off of it. That's really how it goes. All right. But nah, man, that's gonna conclude this episode, bro. Like we really, there's a reminder for ourselves first and foremost, and then before it's a reminder to anybody else. But we sat and discussed. We planned. We really want this to be a benefit to not only ourselves selfishly, but others, man. We really want to do something good with this, inshallah. So, you know, bear with us, man. Have some mercy with us as well, because we're gonna say things that are not always correct and make mistakes, and may Allah have mercy and forgive us on that as well. So like, you know, just, you know, stay tapped in, stay tuned in, because we gonna come with, like I said before, we coming with love. We gonna come with raw truth and honesty, and a lot of it, you know, could be conjecture, a lot of it considered opinions, but understand that it's genuine, and that we want something positive and some light to come from this and come out of it, inshallah.
Yeah, and I appreciate you once again for being so hospitable, bro, and allowing me to have these type of conversations with you, bro. Like, may Allah reward you for that, bro, for real.
I mean, same.
May Allah allow us all to reach Ramadan. And to be pleased with our Ramadan, and forgive us of all of our sins, our shortcomings, and our transgressions.
Ameen.
Ameen.
All right, bro. I appreciate you coming through. Appreciate the conversation. Love it. Can't wait to get to the next one, inshallah. We got Ramadan creeping up, and we got something planned for y'all come Ramadan. It's coming. Understand, inshallah. It's on the way. So we here. We gonna get it popping. It's gonna be. Don't think it's gonna always be serious. We gonna have some jokes coming. It's definitely gonna come because we some characters for real.
Yeah, you know, there's light days and heavy days.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But we gotta be just as well. We want to have those fun conversations. We gotta be wanting to have those uncomfortable truth conversations as well. So it's coming. Expect that from us. Give us some feedback. I'm working on the sound, fine tuning things, and making sure everything is good quality for y'all. You're gonna have to excuse the background noises. Sometimes we're gonna have an ambulance behind us. You know, it be like that sometimes. But you know, alhamdulillah, I got a really good mic. It's picking up on everything. But we appreciate y'all tapping in, and we'll catch y'all in the next episode. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.